Hi everyone, and welcome to our next sports psychology talk together. Today we're dealing with a question that's coming recently around how do I cope with being dropped, substituted from a team. I think this is as part of an ongoing journey within sport, within football. There's going to come a time where you're going to feel like you're being taken to the side, you're being almost like replaced, you're being substituted, you're being dropped, whatever that might be. And if anyone comes up and says to you, "Oh, it's okay, just move on," it's an easy thing to say to someone. And if you don't feel quite disappointed, you are feeling a bit gutted. They're normal reactions to have in that situation because we don't like being dropped and almost replaced or brought in with someone else. So it's normal feelings to experience that. A bit gutted in this situation, and you can lead to a little frustration sometimes with a lot of players and athletes and things like that. So if you do feel like that, you're not alone. You're only human, and you're going to experience those things as well. So I think the important thing is to understand and try and gain a bit of clarity as to why the situation is what it is, and trying to go about things in a there's no right or wrong way to go about it, but just maybe a bit of a way to try and develop a bit of growth and a bit of understanding of the situation. And that's what we're going to try and go into a little bit today. So again, I think it would be quite interesting to start, it's just from your perspective as you're watching this, to maybe reflect on a time where you might have been dropped, or you might have been substituted, or you might have been replaced, and just kind of think about how that's made you feel in terms of your reaction towards maybe a coach, your reaction towards that player that's maybe come in for you, reaction to some of your teammates, maybe some of the support staff, whatever that might be, your reaction to yourself. You might start questioning yourself and what you need to do more. So just try and think about some of those things as well. And if we're thinking about kind of a template or a kind of process in terms of something you might want to go and try in this situation, if you are dropped or you feel like you're being substituted or replaced, is in that first instance, it comes down to that relationship you've got with that coach. So the coach-athlete relationship within sport is crucial and is fundamental to our development as players, as people, as characters, whatever you want to say. So the first thing to say is to enable that good relationship with the coach. It's okay to know that you can challenge in these situations and you can ask questions, and ultimately it's there to try and gain a bit of clarity of the situation, because if you go away and you've just been dropped or something, you might start questioning, you might start doubting yourself, and you might have all of these things you want to say. But challenging and gaining clarity is crucial to that. And going up and asking, what are the reasons as to why I've been dropped, and gaining that understanding and clarity, and that player that might be coming in, it might be the case that just for that match, they might want to try something a little bit different, rather than it being something negative against you, it could be they're to try something different. So understanding that clarity in that situation, having that open and honest discussion with the coach is crucial in those first situations, because rather than trying to get all your thoughts going all around in your head and we start going off all different tangents, different directions, it's good to just gain a bit of clarity in those initial bits and gain understanding of kind of why I've been dropped, and understanding just what the situation is in that situation. So gaining clarity and challenging is crucial in those initial stages. The second stage is then to try and explore some of the development areas. So opening the question again further and saying, well, what things can I then go away and work on? I want to try and improve. What things can I try and work on in terms of, getting myself back into that starting position? Because by doing that, it's showing that growth mentality and that growth mindset. And we talk about having a sponge or a rock between your ears in terms of, your brain. If you have a rock between your ears, it suggests that you don't really try and absorb things. You think you know it all already, and you don't try and learn off things. Whereas if you've got that sponge, you absorb information. It shows that, you've been dropped, but actually I want to try and challenge myself. I want to try and learn and try and develop myself further to get back into that position. And ultimately, that's the key skill that you want to try and see in these situations. So to have that sponge mentality, absorb and open the question and say, well, what can I work on? I want to try and go away and better myself. What can I do to try and develop myself? So again, exploring those development areas is crucial, because that growth mentality and showing that challenge mentality as well, that challenge mindset, it almost comes into that idea of being very resilient. This is part of the resilient journey. Being dropped, being substituted, going through tough times, it's all part of that resilient journey. And opening those questions up, challenging, gaining clarity, showing a growth mindset, All of those things are crucial to opening up that resilience. So again, exploring those development areas is crucial in those situations to gain that kind of, yeah, I'm up for the challenge. I'm not going to go into my shell. I'm not going to go away and sulk in this situation, which you might have done in the past, and it's a normal reaction to have, to get a bit frustrated and start kick things and get really annoyed at yourself and the people around you. But actually, what can I do? What's positive in this situation? How am I going to have that kind of PMA, that positive mental attitude in the situation, where I'm actually going to show them that I'm keen to learn, I'm keen to explore, I'm keen to develop all of these different types of things, because that's a key skill that coaches, you know, wherever it might be, are going to be looking for. Okay, so that's a key one to do in that situation as well, through questioning. And then offer support to a team. I think sometimes we get very caught up in terms of our individual journey, you know, which is great for our own development. But actually, when we're talking about football, you know, we're coming together as a team sport, and actually the impact that, you know, you have on the team is massive. So we talk about team cohesion. We're talking about people that even when they're not starting, even when they've been dropped, they still offer that support. They're still offering that kind of team morale, that team cohesion. So if you go away and you start kicking things, you start questioning things, you start doubting people, you start putting other people down, it's just going to have that kind of negative roll-on effect to the teammates as well. So we just need to be mindful in that situation about what our image, what body language we're doing and what we're portraying is actually having on our teammates as well. And it comes down, we've spoken about a little bit, is that self-awareness in terms of understanding who I am as a person, as a player, and understanding what impact that I can have on the people around me as well. And it's a crucial thing in football, in any team sport is crucial to that. So offering support where you can, and that's, you know, on the sidelines, it's still encouraging teammates on. It's trying to, you know, support players where you can in terms of helping out in and around training environments, you know, doing a little bit here and there, you know, speaking to players, you know, giving them a bit of motivation, you know, whatever it might be. All of those type of things just help create a nice environment where people can thrive and feel safe to really push each other. So that's a massive one as well. And the last one here I think is really important as well, because I think sometimes we get caught up in terms of, if you get replaced and you be substituted, your automatic thing might be, I really hope they have a bad game, or I really hope they start really struggling, because if they do that, it gives me a chance to get back in. Well, yeah, I suppose that is an option, but actually in that situation, what's controllable and what's realistic for you, and how are you going to better yourself in that situation? And rather than just saying, oh, let's hope they have a bad game, or let's hope they muck up, or let's hope they get a penalty opportunity and they miss this and screw things up because it might give me a chance. But actually, let's just try and show myself that I can go above my expected level. Let's try and rise to the challenge and get myself back into the team off my own merit rather than their mistakes. So focus on what's controllable. So that is going away and working on your development areas. That's going away and having a conversation with your coach. That's going away and supporting people and showing that you're a good teammate in and around the people around you. It's all of those different types of things, because by doing those controllable things, it just takes the pressure off thinking, right, I'm relying on people to have a bad game here for me to get back in. Well, actually, that's not great for our mindset, because we're keeping things out there and not really realistic and achievable. Whereas these things here are all realistic things. They're things that we can do in the situations after we know we've been dropped, in the training sessions after, in the match day situation. They're all things that we can do to just give ourselves that understanding that, you know, we're part of a team here, we're gaining a bit of clarity, I'm working on myself, I'm working on my development areas to absorb that growth mindset and that challenge mentality, and they're the things that we're kind of looking for in this kind of situation. So again, just a kind of quick little video today, because I know it's a topic that's just come up a little bit recently, so I thought I'd just go into a little bit of detail how about, you know, you might go about covering it. But again, reflect on your own experience and reflect on how it's made you feel, because, you know, it can be a really gutting experience and it can be a really frustrating thing, and that's completely normal. So reflect on that, and then just have a go at trying to think about it in this kind of way and experiencing it in a slightly different way to, again, just get that growth mentality, acceptance kind of state, and that challenge mentality that we want to try and have as well. So have a go with it, play around with it, and if you've got any questions, do get in touch and we can go into a little bit more detail. That's it for today. Take care, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers, guys.